Hey everybody, some Gadget Guy here, and continuing on my series of videos on how I would improve smartphone cameras. We started with the LG G3's camera and camera app, and now I'm going to move over to the Nokia camera experience. Now before I get too into this video, I do want to throw out a quick little disclaimer. I got a lot of comments on my G3 video from people who were feeling a little defensive about some of my criticisms regarding the G3 camera experience, and I really do want to make this clear that the videos that I'm trying to produce here are not intended to slight these cameras. We're living in an age where smartphone photography is better than it's ever been. You just really got to be honest with yourself. Are you the type of person who pulls your phone out of a pocket of a purse, snaps off a quick pic, and then puts it back away? Or are you the type of person who's really starting to get more interested in composition and control? To that point, the Nokia camera app, in my opinion, is second to none in its photographic control, giving you very easy and fast access to exposure, shutter speed, your ISO, manual focus, and white balance. These sliding controls work fantastically well. Now, what I would like to see on the photography side is just a little bit more access to JPEG finishing. So if we come into settings, there's not a lot for us to play with. We can set our focus assist light, we can have our framing grids. I like rule of thirds. We can change our aspect ratio, our resolution, and then we now have these living images. So every time you take a picture with the Nokia camera, it takes a small, tiny little burst of video. But while we have all of these terrific controls for capturing the image, we don't have any control over finishing the image. And by that I mean contrast, sharpness, and saturation. And I'm switching over to an M8 to illustrate what I'm talking about here because we have a number of really cool controls on HTC's camera app as well, with exposure control, ISO control, white balance control, and then some other fun shooting modes and filters. But when we tap into this little gear settings icon here, we get some additional image adjustment tools which can have a profound impact on your photo and video output. Specifically, if we come into these image adjustments, and this comes down into that JPEG finishing. Your camera is going to capture a raw image, and then software is going to mangle that raw image into something that you can put out as a very easy to send smaller image file. It's a lot like the difference between a CD and an MP3. So when we come into image adjustments, we get these three tools. We get contrast, saturation, and sharpness. If you really want to juice up the colors, you can. If you really want to control the difference between dark and bright elements in your scene, you've got full contrast control. And then one of my favorite things to do with the HTC One camera is actually back off the sharpness half a step. With the lower resolution image sensor on the HTC One 8, I feel they over sharpen to compensate for that lack of resolution, and this actually helps with some of those criticisms I've had in how busy or how liney or jaggy the background blur can be in your images. So especially with what HTC has brought to the table in terms of their camera experience, I would love to see a few more of those features here on the Nokia camera too. And this one isn't necessarily mission critical, but while we have these incredible bracketing tools, bracketing allows you to take a number of photos in a row with different exposure ranges. So you can go in half steps with 3 or 5 photos. You can also increase that to 1 or 2 stop differences between a range of different photos. We don't have any in-camera HDR. I would love for Nokia to give us a finished JPEG after I take a run of 3 or 5 photos, merging these bracketed photos so that I could see what that would look like. And then if I wanted to, I could take either the raw or the high-res JPEGs to a computer and do my own HDR with whatever software I'm using to finish off my photos at home. But where I have most of my criticisms with the Nokia camera experience actually comes down to video. Now, the video on a Nokia smartphone is gorgeous HD video, 1080p. I would, of course, love to see them step up to 4K video, and maybe we'll get that in a future Nokia handset or in a future Microsoft update. There's already rumblings of Update 2 providing more support for super high resolution screens, so with that, maybe we'll also get some support for super high resolution video. But where we had all of those amazing photography controls, we have woefully few video controls. Essentially just manual focus and manual white balance, and whether or not we want to employ the LED. So if we want a little spotlight on our video there. While we might not be able to have full access to things like shutter speed, I really feel that having some kind of exposure control in here would be insanely helpful. If I want to darken up the video a little bit, or if I want to brighten up the video a little bit, that would be a fantastic feature to add to an already gorgeous HD video experience. But where I get a little cranky with the video is actually on the focus assist light. When we're in photo mode, we have a setting. Here, we're going to go into settings real quick. And so we have a focus assist light, and I want that to be set by the flash. Anytime I'm going to throw the flash, that is the only acceptable time for the focus assist light to turn on. So if we come back out, so my flash is off and I tap on this scene, It focuses, no problem, no light went off. And this is especially crucial when you're doing things like, say you want to take a photo of something at an art museum. You know, they almost always have rules about no flash photography. So even if you're not throwing your flash, if you have your focus assist light, those docents are going to run over to you and tell you to stop throwing your flash. And so then if I turn the flash back on and I focus, see, now it throws the focus assist light, and that helps with the focusing in super dark situations, which are really the only times that I'm really going to want to throw my LED flash anyway. However, when we come into video, if it's dim enough, the focus assist light always comes on. So if you're in bright outdoor situations, it won't, but it's always a full auto experience. So even though I've got the office a little darker so that you can see the screen well, it's not dark. I've got 3 lights on in this room, but the camera keeps throwing the flash. Do I have the flash on? No, I've turned the flash off. And this is so frustrating. At a concert, I got to see pretty lights, and I wanted to take a little video of a pretty light set because it's an amazing laser light show. And the entire time I'm trying to focus on something on stage, I'm throwing my flashlight at the back of someone's head, and I'm kind of pissing off people around me. So all of that cranky ranting aside, if one of your favorite features on your phone is the camera and you haven't checked out a Nokia, I think you might be missing out on a really awesome photo video experience. With that being said, no gadget is perfect, and there's always room for improvement. And definitely drop me some comments on this because I got some amazing replies on my G3 video talking about other ways that we can improve smartphone photography and smartphone video capture. As always, folks, thanks so much for watching my videos, sharing my videos, subscribing to this channel, dropping me all of those amazing comments down below. I love the discussion that we get into. Hit that thumbs up button, and I will catch you all on the next review.